Okay, so Lou,
Yeah.
I have a bunch of questions for you.
So do I.
You have a lot of music.
I try.
Do you feel like you've grown, like since the first project that you put out?
I
Which
feel
one was the very first project? Is it on streaming?
actually my first projects were never on streaming. Most of them used to be. I used to just be a SoundCloud guy, and it just popped off from then. Like I think the more serious I became is when like I started putting things on streaming. So I
So
would say
before
like
2018?
yeah,
is-
2015.
That's when you started?
Seriously putting
Okay.
things out, yeah, 2015.
All right, dope.
So the first project I actually ever put out was taken down.
What do you mean?
Like I took it down
Oh,
myself
okay.
because just I think the more like I started evolving over time, like with the sound, like I just became more intentional with like how I like my things sounding. So
Okay. And how did that project sound?
very generic.
Really?
Yeah.
I find that hard to believe, Lou. You're very unique.
I don't know. Everyone had their generic days before they kind of
Okay.
like
Found
you know.
themselves.
Yeah, I feel like if not all of them, at least most of them I felt were like, yeah.
But
Or
that's
just-
because you're
Plus also
emulating.
the mixes
Yeah.
weren't like the best.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I feel that.
Like
Yeah.
you listen to a track a year later and you hear the snare like, tsh,
You're like, oh
like,
dear.
okay, so I probably need to do the right thing.
Remaster.
But like they're still there on my Google Drive somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So who were you emulating in the beginning?
Who was I?
Because you said you sounded generic. I feel like artists, when you first start, you kind of sound
Well, the
like your
crazy thing
idols.
is-
Yeah.
Also that I used to rap before I started making beats.
Oh.
Yeah. So I used to just write and rap all the time.
Okay,
So
well that explains it.
So yeah, it got to a point where like I used to just really spend a lot of money going to the studio, which was far. I used to go all the way to like Kahawa, Sukari sides, and I used to stay in South Sea those times. So I had to. Plus at the same time, you know, when you go to the studio and it's like, okay, I want the mix sounding like this, and then you like things like piecing up like a certain way. Like you want the vocals to, like if you talk about the sun, you want to hear like what, like a sun
feels
birds
like-
chirping or whatever. So just out of like that curiosity, like I just decided to do things on my own. That's when I started making beats. And as I said, Lou is a social experiment. So he's just like someone who, it's like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, so you guys like that? Okay, cool.
Dope.
What
Well, you've
about-
been doing this for a while so far, so I guess it worked.
Yeah, I mean, but 2015 is when I became like, I feel like
Yeah.
that's when I'd say like I've started like, okay, this is it, you know?
Like I want to do this for real. Okay, dope.
Yeah. And
Well-
what about you? Did you used to, you produced too, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I've always like composed and sort of produced like since high school. And even during Kamula days, like in studio when nobody was there and I just had a chance, I'd be like
you just
in...
go toots.
No, literally the only person who ever knew I produced at that time was Suzanne. She'd like walk in and be like, and then she'd bounce, but I never showed anyone those sounds.
Those sounds.
So now is when I
Was
have
it
the
always
confidence.
Ableton?
No. Logic. It was always Logic. And then Ableton came later because I liked like looping and experimenting and performing
like the
live.
different performance styles. Wow, Wilson Airport. For
Lol.
now, it's for now.
Yeah, you're actually one of the few people who know about my Ableton phase.
Yeah.
'Cause, like-
phase, it's still there.
Look at you, you're so loyal. I love it.
Loyal to the brand.
Yeah, I mean, because like I was in uni and I was just experimenting and looping, and sometimes I'd post it on the internet, but not really. So I feel like I was interacting with you a lot back then. Yeah.
I feel you in that.
Yeah.
And also, just to, I don't know, because I know we'll definitely, you know the way you eat like a fish finger, and then you dip it in, what do you call it?
Sauce.
Tartar sauce.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like
talk about food
Ableton.
now,
So
guys.
this is how we're gonna be talking about Ableton.
Okay.
We'll probably just dip the fish fillet. It's gonna be a recurring topic. Anyway, I love it.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean,
But,
by the way, on the topic of Ableton, did you start on Ableton? What did you start on?
Well, I started on FL, but you know,
Yeah.
I can't also say that FL is trash, to be honest, because it's the one that kind of made me who I am, you know. I can't disacknowledge the forefathers, you know.
Yeah. So it was FL straight to Ableton?
It was FL, then, you know, just
did you ever try Logic?
Transitioning into Ableton because I was really, beat making in FL is really easy, so just clicking buttons, clicking on a mouse. That's why
I feel like all the producers I know that use FL, the polyrhythms and everything is so like that. Because you have like that level of control, I guess.
So, I mean, FL is cool, but I just transitioned into Ableton more over time. And then I think the first beat I ever put out, like the day I put out the first beat I made out on Ableton with vocals, was the day I was like, okay, there's no turning back.
Really?
So, yeah.
Okay. Dope.
So that's pretty much. And at the same time, we also usually, nowadays we host workshops. It's just been, this year has been trash.
The Ableton ones? And I've never made it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm not loyal.
Keep inviting. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you invite me every time.
Ableton.
Yeah. But okay, so like I gave you an APC, the controller for Ableton.
Yeah, actually.
Is that close to when you started using Ableton?
That's
how long had you been?
It's like the time when we made Under.
Yeah.
The time when I was shooting us behind your backyard.
Yeah.
Actually, that, because you gave me the second version of the APC before the original one. So I learned how to use it through. That's actually like almost maybe a year knee deep inside.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sick. I feel like I contributed.
Thank you. Actually, you've been a contributing factor to all this. Thank you very much.
No, I mean, well, I get to enjoy the music too, so that's dope.
And we've also gotten to actualize performances with it. You know?
Yeah. Sick.
Plus, do you still have your looper, the vocal one?
Yeah, and I have another looper, a Bose looper. Yeah.
Bose?
Bose.
Like
have you seen the
speaker?
one that Blinky uses?
Nah.
It's got like, you can hit, it's just the way you use it is so different.
Is it 1, 2, 3, 6 pads or something?
Yeah, it's like, it's a lot bigger than my vocal looper. So they're both dope for different reasons, but yeah.
So those are pads but also buttons, or so you could also hit them with sticks if you want. Any stick.
Yeah. Do you see Masego when he came here?
Yeah, I remember. Oh yeah.
He was doing.
Oh, that's the looper that he used.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to the because I mean that one is actually using you. There's no MIDI. It's just
you can put MIDI into it.
But I'm saying getting to the point where I don't need to use MIDI. Just looping, like, you know. I think I got to test out your looper once when I came to visit once, and I think you're doing sound check for something. Probably. I mean.
At my house.
Yeah.
No.
Some time back, some years ago.
Well, you're free to use them again if you want.
Bless, man. But,
yeah.
But genuinely though, so did you start like producing first, or were you always just like singing?
No, I was always singing because I was singing since I was like 6. So there's no way a 6-year-old was at the computer begin? Like boop. Production started now when I was studying music for, was it A-levels? No. It was even year 9. Like I've been doing music in school for as long as I possibly can. And you do compositions online, so I'd use Sibelius.
Yeah.
And then from there, I would export my compositions onto Logic. And that's kind of how I started.
The compositions are like actually sheet music?
Yeah, sheet music. So that's how my composition started. It was like a mesh between classical music and like Kikuyu polyrhythms. It was so weird. But I really liked it. I wonder if I could bring that back. So speaking of Kikuyu samples, you have been sampling a lot of like old Kenyan sounds in your music.
Yeah. And
okay, first of all, where are you getting them from? And second of all, when did you decide to start doing that, and why?
Okay. One, YouTube and the internet is your friend. So I think I used to see their cover arts, just going through your friends' vinyl records, and you're like, wait, these are Kenyan? And you just go and like you look on YouTube and you find these things. And the reason I started sampling mostly like Kenyan things was because, I felt like most of the times when people get like software to make beats, they look for samples from outside. So I was just like, it would be nice to unite like the same things but with things that are from here. So they're equally fire.
Yeah.
And actually people from outside even come to
Sample our sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pretty much.
But I think, okay, so you said you used to go through your friends' vinyls. I don't think I was ever exposed to those. So I was like, what are you even searching into YouTube?
So, I mean, the thing is, like, when you see the vinyl, you take pictures and then you go look on YouTube. Because I couldn't find a vinyl player to, like, transcode the sound.
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
But I think if I didn't find all the songs that I looked for, but genuinely, like, I found most, if not all.
Okay.
Even CDs.
And when did you decide to start doing that? Because you weren't always doing that, right?
Not really. Just over time, just, what do you say?
You weren't like, all of a sudden, this needs to happen in the industry.
You know, I mean, it does, that's why I said,
Yeah.
like, people sample things from outside, but, like, I feel like more of it needs to be from here.
Yeah.
Because they're equally fire. And
you know, like, literally, I feel like the Kenyan industry, people are always like, oh, there's no sound. We don't have a sound.
We don't have a sound.
You guys
like,
are not unique. But not legit, like, some sounds that you come up with, it's like, yeah, this makes sense. I feel like this is what I would tell people is what Kenyan music sounds like now.
Yeah.
Because it's, yeah, it is legit, like, our history, but you, like, modernized it.
Yeah,
I wish that could come more into, like, the mainstream, because I think it's dope.
Yeah. I like the sound of Rumba Japani, for example. You know, that's, it's, although, like, it's very, like, you know, it has a mixture of, like, the outside elements together with, like, a blend of here, and I think that's kind of fire too. It's like lo-fi, whatever. You could blend many things and form, like, different smaller music industries here. You know, you could have alternative music, you could have hip-hop or...
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay, I've had this conversation with my friends. Like, Rumba and Gengetone are dope. But they are still influenced by, like, outside.
Yeah.
Like, Gengetone, like, reggaeton.
Yeah.
But, like, the things that you're sampling are from, like, here, from, like, way back. That's why I find it really unique. Anyways, they're all dope. Like, I'm just happy to be at this point in time in our music industry.
Because, I mean, we're all playing our part. You know, everyone who's, like, doing something different is encouraging the next generation to also keep doing different things. And
and who knows where we'll end up.
Yeah, because this one time, do you feel like there's been a, how do you say, there's a time I had a conversation with someone about how there was, like, a music generation gap in the country. That's why maybe, like, our industry isn't, like, up there as it should be.
Because it kind of, like, fell off.
Maybe even during colonial times, let's say. Like if we date it way back, because I think a lot could have happened during that gap when there was nothing.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to read books about this because it seems like there's times when the industry was dope and then something happened and it stopped it, and then it was dope again and then something happened and it stopped it. Like, I don't know, politics, I don't know, colonialism, us just not liking ourselves, like. So I feel like the Kenyan industry's been doing this, and maybe that's why it's not like where maybe like the Nigerian industry is. But I feel like hopefully now
things will
now it's not another false start.
It's also part of it is like a reason. Someone said it so well. Part of the reason is because even during those times when our parents were being brought up, they only were expected to be few things. Yeah. Lawyer, doctor, or engineer, or something. You get. So it was mostly that influence that kind of maybe hindered a few things. So it wasn't normal for anyone to just like exist as an artist. Yeah, and if you were kind of like that guy who does music. Yeah, the guy who does music. Yeah, but I think we've come a long way, and a lot of parents are like supporting their kids. And well, maybe not a lot, but a lot more than when maybe I was in prep school. In prep school, yeah. And it's almost like a viable career now. Almost. Shout out to my auntie. Oh, did she support you? Yeah, she's always been supportive of the whole, just everything. Because I not only just do music, there's many other things that I do, but most people know me for the music. You do your album art yourself as well? Album art? Album art. Oh, your song covers. Yes, I do the cover arts myself. Okay, not all of them, because now it's more of I like it when I've spent countless months, close to years maybe, working on music and then letting someone else decide what it sounds like to look like for them.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah. It's like an extra, just another artistic point of view.
Yeah. So, but at the same time, as I make these things, there's elements I usually hear and I feel like should be incorporated into the art. So,
okay.
Which is also a thing I wanted to ask, like about, not even ask, but like one of the things I've really learned like during this like COVID times and like just being indoors was just being intentional, you know, just being intentional, literally just with everything. So even the way you decide what colors go on your cover art, and
it's
you know,
not just
instead of it just being like
it looks good
text and then it's a cover art and it's done, you know. So because once it's out there, it's
you can't take that back. It's in history.
Yeah.
But like this year, you've released how many projects, bruh?
Just
like 3 or 4,
like,
dude. You've done a lot.
Well, maybe. Yeah.
So there's what? There's the Nairobi tapes.
Nairobi Lost tapes.
And then
The Gwez tapes.
Nairobi.
Nairobi, yeah.
Is there something else?
And just the one video for corporate. I think that's also a highlight for me. The video.
That video was
really
dope.
Yeah.
Did you have fun filming that?
Yeah, actually, filming in Nairobi is not exactly the easiest. Like you just don't pop up a camera and just like. So.
You got
me
permits.
and Chebeni just found like a way around it.
Sorry, I'm throwing you under the bus here.
We just found a way around it.
Yeah, I mean, but I love that
but
hat.
We didn't break any rules.
You have.
Yeah, that was actually like just at home.
And then was there a swimming pool?
That's at home.
Yeah, it's lit. It was looking really good, and the grading, the colors were popping.
Yeah, Chebeni's
Oh, he did the grading?
He did the whole video. He shot it and edited everything himself.
But it seems very you, so who directed it?
That's the crazy thing, because I've realized Chebeni is one of those directors who, like, he's very intentional too. Like, intent goes a long way in this life.
Okay.
Like, even he's directed Wakadinali's video, Extra Pressure, and I felt like when I watched that video, I was like, this is very Wakadinali.
Okay.
So as I said, that's why you need to like learn when to step
good
back.
At their job, yeah.
Let them do their thing.
That's dope.
So, because even when I played him the song, he's also like he doesn't understand Swahili like that. So I had to explain to him like because some of the words were in Swahili, so I had to kind of break down for him. But even him, he sits and he listens to the track day in, day out, and he gets his own ideas. And he was like, one day he was like, I have it. Come through and I'll tell you.
Yeah, dope.
And it made sense. When he explained it in his own words, I could picture the whole thing in my head.
Cool.
And it came out exactly like that. So.
All right. So it seems like this year was a good year for you, musically?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's not so bad.
It's not so bad? Okay, what...
Could be better.
What would you want to comment on about this year?
It just taught me that I need to be more consistent too. That's what I meant by it could be better. So.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
You released 3 projects this year. Like, don't.
Have you met Knowledge?
Calm down.
Have you met Knowledge?
Okay, I guess it all depends on where the goal.
Like, yeah, where
what the goal is.
Because I mean, it's also like enough time for people to consume and be like, okay, fine. Now we want more music. You know? So.
I get that.
Just like maybe one more project before the end of the year wouldn't hurt.
Fire. I'm ready.
You know.
What
about you? Do you have anything in the vaults? Like
I do. I've been making a lot of music. Trying to figure out whether to do 2 separate like EPs or just like an album, because I've just been recording. Like this has been a really creative year. Like it started off like I couldn't really create because of all the uncertainty. I kind of just had a block. So I turned to like farming. I turned to like drawing.
Oh, really? Oh, is that
crafting.
why you went to?
Naivasha?
I don't know.
Nakuru.
There's a time you told me you went to Shago or something, and you were planting pawpaws or something. Was it? I don't know if I'm saying the actual.
I mean, I did go for a trip up country, but I was planting things in my house.
Okay.
Yeah. It was a pawpaw tree. I have like so many pawpaw trees. But yeah, that's how I dealt with not being able to create in the beginning. And then now it's like things are just coming out of me. I'm getting like, I'm producing more, I'm writing more. So I have like songs in the vault, but I'm also like, because this has been such a creative year for me, I want the release to be just as graceful. Does that make sense? So I'm also not really rushing it. Yeah.
I see. So so you mean like since March you've done all these things, like you went and did farming. Are you still doing the farming thing?
Yeah. Wait, so the lockdown started in March, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like a month or two of like farming and crafting and just doing other things. Not being on social media.
Yeah.
It was dope. And then I got back in around like June.
And how are you handling that time off social media? Did you have like bouts of like, oh,
the
was
itch
it just
to get online?
Yeah, just the itch, or like was it just like, oh, there's no network here, let's just like not do shit? I'm sure there's network everywhere.
You know what's crazy? When I'm not on social media, I'm pretty calm and happy. I never get the itch to get back on social media. It's usually like, you have to post about this thing. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I see.
So I have that like love-hate with social media, because I love connecting with my fans and just even my friends on the Finsta or the spam pages.
Yeah.
You know, like social media can be great, but I'm just so much happier without it. You too, yeah?
I mean, I guess I'm just learning to moderate, you know. So I'm just at this point where I'm just laying off it for a bit. Just trying to figure out, like, I mean, sometimes, you know, it's like a good way to stay present, you know.
Not being on social media.
On the, I mean, it's a good privilege to, you know, there's good things to it, but like, it could also be very, like, I don't want to use the word detrimental. It sounds so serious, like.
Yeah, but it can be.
You know,
too much of anything is bad, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm just pretty much learning how to moderate day by day. It's not easy, but...
What's your tricks?
What's my trick? I make...
You told me your trick.
The trick. Fine, here's the trick. If it's Instagram, I delete the app because it makes... You see, when you have the app, it's easy for you to just like open the app and it refreshes the page for you and you're good. And you just like start the thing, infinity scroll. But if you delete the app, it makes it harder for you to go online. So it's just, you only see things when you need to. You know.
What, you use like someone else's phone?
No, you can just use your laptop. Nowadays, you can even read DMs on laptop. So, I mean, that's pretty much the most important bit, I think.
Okay.
I'm not really pressed much about posting, but when I need to, like, I usually just come back and do the thing.
Yeah.
But it's through those small moments when I'm like, okay, just one more. And then I come back and it's like...
and you're like, now I need to stop.
Hole.
Yeah. All right. Well, so you've released a couple projects, and most of them are albums, are they?
Yeah, tapes, just projects really. Like nowadays, you could release an EP and someone will just call it an album. You know.
Okay. So my question is just like, how do you go about planning the release? Like, do you have like a concept? How do you put together your albums?
I mean, every release is different. The rollout is always different because, you know, sometimes you have the what you call it. You can have a song without a video.
Yeah.
Or you could just have a song with a visualizer. So depending on what what creatives I have at that point will determine like how I will release the song. But if there's no creatives, sometimes I have to form them myself. Like you could shoot like short skit videos or, you know, just stuff to get people hyped that you have something. Yeah. Okay. Just content other than the music sometimes, you know.
Yeah. That's the age of content right now.
Yeah.
Aren't we?
Kind of a blessing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You also have been doing stuff for like Sky Girls, is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
How's that been going?
That was cool. I made their anthem. So like they had this whole movement. That's just supporting like young girls. Yeah. I mean, that was really cool because I was super aligned with everything that they were doing. Just like being true to yourself and just like not letting other people's opinions take you off your course. And this is like the message that they wanted to give to young girls. So when they called me up, we aligned at that point. And now they were like, you have to write a song in a week. I was like, what do you mean? They're like, you have to write a song, produce it, mix, master, and shoot the video by this date. I was like,
okay,
challenge accepted. And
so wait, for that one, like for example, the release, the planning, like were you just privileged enough to just be on the creation side of things, and then it's pushed to, or like did
more
you
or
need
less.
to,
So I mean, the whole campaign has like values. They gave me those values and like key phrases, and I just used that to songwrite. And they'd give me feedback like, okay, just take that word out. It just means something different if you use it in the context of like young kids, you know, stuff like that. I'd get like feedback just like once or twice, and then it was done.
okay.
I mean, that was a great exercise. That gave me confidence. I was like, that means all the work I've done in songwriting,
Yeah,
like I'm actually pretty dope if I could have done this fast.
That's kind of.
And I co-produced that song too.
Who produced it?
Just that whole like process of releasing the song showed me that I guess I kind of know what I'm doing.
The song?
I started the production of the song, and then I brought on board Sedo
Yeah.
and Sichangi, because we wanted it to have like a sound where anybody in Kenya can listen to it, because the campaign is for Kenya. But it also has to be me, right? And so I've been working with Sichangi a long time, so he gets my sound, and I was like, I want there to be this bass line, and I know the person that can do this is Sichangi. So I just called him up. I was like, I want it this. He did it. I was like, bro, this has been like the easiest song to make. Yeah. Do you feel like sometimes the easiest songs are like the best?
Sometimes I feel like the songs that I make in a whim, sometimes I even end up losing the project files, but that last version that I rendered
Don't say
was like,
that. It was the one.
It's the one. Actually, yeah, I do agree. Like sometimes there's new meta songs that even like me and the team have made, like that we've finished in like literally like one evening.
Said she wanna hang out with me in the backseat of a private party. Yes. So how long did that song take?
Well, the process for that one was different because Maz originally is the one who produced the record. He produced it and then he had sent it to us like with the singing.
Oh.
So
What part of the production was done at that point?
Everything. Like the beats and the singing. So like there was space for us in the verses by the time, like when he came and like pitched it to us the first time, we were like, yo, that's the one.
Yeah.
And we just like took it from there.
It's sticky, as they'd say.
Yeah, it's quite sticky.
Yeah.
And so how have you been handling things like during, like how have you been, I mean, I know
during COVID?
like yeah, during this whole time, I know it's also very hard to, sometimes, you know, I'm also a very like, I don't want to say existentialist, but nihilistic. I don't know. Just like, you know, those, everyone's an escapist somehow, but like,
a
you know, just the
something
maybe,
like that.
You know, just the guy who's like, I mean, we are doomed at this rate.
Yeah.
But like, there's hope, you know. But like, sometimes I can just be like, you know, we're doomed. So like, how do you?
But when you say it like that, are you just being realistic, or is there actual sadness behind it?
I think it's mostly just about, just how. I think
because you're so comical. I can't imagine you being like, we're doomed, and like really meaning it. No?
Well, I think if you, yeah, maybe.
A bit of both?
Yeah, it's just a bit. It's a balance, you know. I feel all things. I'm very comical, but sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have like those moments.
Pisces,
So,
wavy.
yeah, man. So how do you even stay positive? Like, how have you been staying? How do you usually stay positive? Like,
I mean, I've been blessed to have my son in my life. Like ever since I gave birth, I haven't really been too low. Like before I gave birth, I did have bouts of depression, and I was kind of scared that I'd have like when you give birth, I forgot what it's called.
Post-depression.
Yeah. It happens because of like the hormones. You get a dip, but that didn't happen. Like ever since I've had my son in my life, I've been pretty balanced and stable.
Wow. Okay.
So I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe it's just brain chemistry. But like I'm also at the point where if I lose everything today, it's okay.
It's okay. Like you're totally fine with it.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Maybe
like,
I've just been a deep thinker. I've been a deep thinker to the point where I realize that there's more than thoughts. Remember we were talking about Eckhart Tolle?
Yeah.
So I've reached that point of just
being like a straight line. Not a straight line.
No, because then you're
like
dead.
You're dead. Not like a straight, just like being...
But like, if I go here, it's side, it's side, it's side. Because I feel like the problem with, like, if I go here and I overthink it, maybe it'll take me down. You know what I mean? So like, if I'm not resisting it, then I can just...
You go this way, yeah.
Does that make any sense? I
Being
feel like
neutral.
that was so abstract.
I feel like it should be neutral. That's the word. Just
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, overall in the Kenyan industry, how do you think this year has been?
It's been... It definitely changed a lot of things. We were hoping by the time Nairobi's... Because Nairobi's dropped like just a week after the shit was announced.
Oh.
So we also were never sure about like how the reception will be, because we, you know, it's just like this, the industry is going to feel, because you know I feel like as artists, like we dwell more with like if live performances and you know, so we thought like that would have been the project to like
get you into the live
perform,
scene.
you know?
Yeah, I feel like
robbed
of that experience.
Like
really,
our first
I can't
album,
wait till you can
know?
do that. That would be so
so
cool.
I think by the time when things get back on track, we definitely have something special lined up.
Sick.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, man. I think it's gonna be a time to be alive.
I am literally so excited. That's gonna be lit.
Yeah.
Cool.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just, I mean, all I have to say is like every day I at least try. You know, it's better to try than not to try.
Yeah, for sure. You're here. Do something, I guess. But I think that helps us wrap up today's session, right?
Yeah. I think.
Do you have anything else to ask, or should we just shake on?
I think one more thing I'd say is just stay positive, I think.
Yeah.
Sounds stupid, but just
make
someone else happy, if not yourself. Be a caregiver.
Yeah.
Peace be with you.
Dope. Well, thanks for having this conversation, dude. Well.
It sounds like
bye, guys.